There is only one war that matters. The Great War. And it is here. Welcome to Watch, Review, Repeat. This is the podcast where two best friends discuss the latest in film and television and then do it all over again the following week. My name is Colton Brown, and joining me is Andrew Meadows.
Colton Brown!
What are you doing over there?
Just sitting here drinking my wine, brother. Getting ready to talk about Game of Thrones.
Oh, well, I've got Macho Man Randy Savage, and he's ready to talk about some Game of Thrones.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, man. Can you imagine if we actually tried to just do that for a full episode? I can't. I mean, we don't have that many listeners to begin with. Let's be honest. But I have to imagine.
Traction, though, man.
Oh, I don't know. I think it would have the opposite effect. I think people would be like they'd listen to it for like 5 minutes. And then
okay, I'm done.
Well, I like there'd be the moment in their head of like, oh my god, are they actually just going to do this the whole fucking time? Then they skip ahead a little bit, and they're like, oh, they're just legitimately doing it this whole time. Anyway, I've now spent a minute talking about something we're not doing, but what we're here to do is to talk about Game of Thrones Season 7 on bonus episode number 18. Welcome to our latest bonus episode. Now, it's a little bit of a different situation than our usual bonus episodes. There's going to be a quick turnaround time between recording this and getting it up on the regular feed, which unfortunately leaves our few Patreon subscribers kind of left out in the rain. So I apologize for that, but we do have some bonus episodes coming out in the future once we get done with Game of Thrones. This is actually the last bonus episode we'll be doing on Game of Thrones. We'll be handling Game of Thrones Season 8 as a regular episode. And I think I speak for Andrew as well when I say that we're both ready to be done with our coverage of Game of Thrones. Nothing against the show, but we've been at it for so long. Now that the final season's over, it's kind of just it's like we're ready to, I think, put it back on the shelf. You know what I mean? I really feel like that's kind of how it feels right now. So we've actually seen everything, which is good. We obviously have seen Season 7, otherwise we wouldn't be here talking about it right now. And we've seen Season 8 finished airing, I guess a month ago or so now. So we're very much behind the curve, but we're still playing catch up, and we're gonna give it our all for both these episodes that we have coming up, including the one that you're listening to now. So on the note of Game of Thrones Season 7, well, I can tell you that it was adapted. Sort of, potentially. We think it might be adapted from some existing source material.
I hope it's loosely adapted.
I think I think it's going to be loosely adapted. I think there's probably certain broad strokes that are going to be carried over from theoretical future novels from George R.R. Martin by the names of The Winds of Winter and A Dream of Spring. So we'll see how close those end up looking like when they come out, hopefully at some point in the future. I'm honestly still hopeful that The Winds of Winter, like 2 years, I'll give it 2 years. I really think he's gonna buckle down and get it out. Dream of Spring is the one I'm really concerned about. I just, unless he's just pulled a fast one and he's writing both of them at the same time, so he can not have this big gap, which is not the case, by the way. No fucking way. That's kind of the only scenario in which I think that we get both of those within 5 years. But I think we can get Winds of Winter within 2 years. I'm putting it on the record right now. I'm fully expecting to be wrong, or at least I'm accepting the possibility that I will be wrong. I don't want to set anyone up for disappointment. I don't want to set myself up for disappointment or anything like that. But I just, I think it's don't get your hopes up, I guess is what I'm saying. But we do have a conclusion to the series of Game of Thrones, and Season 7 was kind of the start of that. It was a truncated season, only 7 episodes this time, kind of considered, I think, part of a 2-part, Season 7, Season 8 finale, 7 episodes, and then 6 episodes, basically the final 13. This is really the home stretch of Game of Thrones. This aired July to August of 2017. David Benioff, D.B. Weiss, back on board as showrunners. Stars Peter Dinklage, a honking horn. Wait, that's not part of the cast. That's just happening outside my window. Madmen. Absolute madmen. It also stars Nikolai Coster-Waldau, Lena Headey, Emilia Clarke, Kit Harington, Aidan Gillen, Liam Cunningham, Sophie Turner, Maisie Williams, Carice Van Houten, Natalie Emmanuel, Indira Varma, Alfie Allen, Gwendolyn Christie, Conleth Hill, John Bradley, Isaac Hempstead Wright, Jerome Flynn, Hannah Murray, Joe Dempsey, Christopher Hivju, Rory McCann, and with Ian Glenn. I don't understand. I mean, I'm looking at the synopsis for season 7. The state of Westeros, per our good friends at the Game of Thrones wiki.
Is it getting shorter?
No, it's not shorter. I think I cut. This might be the longest one. I'm gonna have to cut it down. I'm doing it on the fly again. I think I did that a couple seasons ago, and it was kind of a little all over the place. But I can't be fucked to read this whole thing, and I don't think anyone's gonna. I don't think I'm hurting anyone's feelings by not doing
Requirement for this episode is it must be read as Macho Man Randy Savage.
After a summer lasting almost 10 years. 10 long years.
Well, I don't want to develop throat cancer by the end of tonight, so I'm not going to do that.
Jon Snow is going nowhere. He's up on the wall. Nowhere.
So yes, after a summer lasting almost 10 years, the words of House Stark have finally become reality once again. Winter is here. Over in King's Landing, Cersei Lannister has seized the power that she has craved for many years and eliminated nearly all of her enemies by destroying the Great Sept of Baelor. So we lost the likes of Marjorie Tyrell, Mace Tyrell, Loras Tyrell, most of the Tyrells, as it sounds, Kevin Lannister, Grand Maester Pycelle, the High Sparrow, and all of the Faith Militant. She has now been crowned the undisputed Queen of the Seven Kingdoms, with Qyburn as the hand of the Queen, and Sir Gregor Clegane at her side. So House Lannister has finally become the new royal house. So there you go. That's pretty good.
That's a
blah,
thing.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
Though she now sits on the Iron Throne, she has effectively undone all of Tywin Lannister's efforts to ensure that his family stay in power, as her actions have undoubtedly earned her the hatred of all of Westeros. That is true. Most of the realm is either in open rebellion against the Iron Throne or has fallen out of her allies' control, leaving Cersei effectively as the Queen of King's Landing in the lands owned by the Lannisters. It is the beginning of the end. Wow. That's awfully Stark of you. Out in the Riverlands, the last bastion of Robb Stark's independent northern kingdom, Riverrun, has fallen to House Lannister and House Frey in a siege led by Sir Jaime Lannister, Lord Edmure Tully, who had been held hostage by the Freys ever since the Red Wedding, ordered them to stand down. And now the Blackfish has fallen at the hands of the Lannister forces. And the attempt by Brienne of Tarth and Podrick Payne to recruit the Blackfish to assist Sansa Stark in reclaiming Winterfell from House Bolton has failed, and they were only barely able to escape when the castle fell. I mean, Jaime kind of let him go. It's overstating it a little bit, in my opinion. But they like to make things dramatic, you know? Although House Frey has reclaimed Riverrun, Lord Walder Frey is also dead at the hands of one Arya Stark, who has completed her training as a faceless man in the free city of Braavos.
Which
she has now
consisted of
abandoned
being
the
blinded
order.
and getting beaten with sticks.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, but she learned a lot, as we know. As we know, she learned a lot. She has now abandoned the Order of the Faceless Men and returned to Westeros to cross more names off of her list, which started with Walder Frey. So, yeah, well, good. It's a good start. Good start on the list, I must say. Sandor the Hound Clegane has survived his brutal fight with Brienne of Tarth and attempted to build a new humble life, but has been dragged back into the conflict by the Brotherhood Without Banners, who intend to head north to fight in the war that is coming. Out in the Iron Islands, the cartoon character Euron Greyjoy has usurped power from Euron Greyjoy has usurped power from Balon Greyjoy.
Showed up in the middle of the night and pushed him off a bridge.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. For anyone interested in hearing about that, season 6 episodes, you know, it's out there. It's out there. Have a listen.
I'm your brother.
If you haven't already.
And I'm going to take your throne. I'm pushing you off this bridge, you old man.
He's claimed and won the Salt Throne by promising an alliance with Daenerys Targaryen, which he will use to conquer the Seven Kingdoms.
He's gonna put a
In
baby in
desperation
her
and fear
belly.
for their lives, Theon and Yara have stolen 100 ships from the Iron Fleet and have traveled to Meereen to seek out Daenerys' help before Euron can do so, and have managed to secure an alliance between the Targaryens and the Greyjoys to help Daenerys retake the Iron Throne and overthrow Euron in return for the independence of the Iron Islands. What does overthrow Euron? What does that mean?
Sounds like
What
a
does it mean?
UTI. You know, they're gonna.
That doesn't sound very good. Doesn't sound very good at all. Also aiding Daenerys are the Dornish and the Tyrells, the rulers of the Reach. And Dorne, Alaria Sand, and the Sand Snakes have staged a coup and murdered the Prince Doran Martell and his heir and taken control. Well, the Tyrells are mostly defeated, as I talked about, but Lady Olenna Tyrell, herself now a target of Cersei, has met with the Dornish, Ilaria, and the Sand Snakes by way of Varys. And although skeptical of their motives, she's grief-stricken and incensed by the deaths of her son, grandson, and granddaughter, and pledges House Tyrell's forces to Daenerys in hope of revenge for her slain family, no longer caring about her own survival. In the north, Jon Snow, who knows nothing, and Sansa Stark, who maybe knows a little bit of something. Maybe. We'll see. Are aided by Sir Davos Seaworth, Tormund Giantsbane, and the Lady Lyanna Mormont, and have finally defeated Ramsay Bolton and reclaimed Winterfell following a spectacular battle. Their victory was also due in large part to the support from the Knights of the Vale, the elite soldiers of House Arryn, courtesy of Lord Peter Littlefinger Baelish. And even though House Bolton is now extinct following Ramsay's brutal execution, the future of House Stark is left in question. With Robb and Rick undead, and Bran believed dead as well, the Northern and Vale Lords have turned to Jon and named him the new King in the North.
The king in the north!
Hold on.
The king in the north! The king in the north!
Well, Sansa has rejected Littlefinger's proposal to help him take the Iron Throne and become his queen. Slimy little fuck, that one, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Given that Littlefinger was instrumental in the outbreak of the War of the Five Kings, Jon's ascension to King in the North is now a major obstacle in his master plan, setting the stage for a looming conflict between Jon and Littlefinger, the latter already having sown seeds of distrust in Sansa towards Jon. The Red Priestess Melisandre has been dismissed from Jon's service following discovery of her role in burning a little girl, named Shireen Baratheon, as well as the burning of countless innocent people to the Lord of Light during her service to Stannis Baratheon. So, a few shitty things you might say. In the Reach, Samwell, Tarly, Gilly, and Sam Jr. Have finally reached the Citadel out in Old Town, where police sirens are abuzz as they hunt down criminals in the night.
There's criminals out there, man!
It's also not right, but we're getting a lot of sound effects picking up on my side. It's a happening Wednesday in Philadelphia, folks.
They're prowling.
Sam intends to train as a maester for the Night's Watch, hoping to gain some insight into the White Walkers and how to defeat them. But he has undoubtedly incurred the immense wrath of his father, Randall Tarly, after stealing the ancestral Valyrian steel sword, Heartsbane, who may now seek retribution for that theft. So Samwell may have to use the sword in his studies and uncover... What? He doesn't use the sword in his studies. What the fuck are they talking about? I'm cutting that bit out.
What
he
is
must
it?
uncover the... It says Samwell must use the sword in his studies. Really? No, he doesn't. Did I miss that? Did you? Anyway,
The sword in his
we're not there
studies.
yet, but whatever. Like, he's not literally using the sword at the Citadel. What the fuck? What are these guys on about? These guys have failed me. He must uncover the secrets behind Valyrian steel for the coming battle against the dead before all is lost. That I agree with. I think that's fair. I'll give him that. Across the Narrow Sea, having at last defeated the slave masters and the Sons of the Harpy, Queen Daenerys Targaryen has finally set sail for Westeros, acquiring an army consisting of the Unsullied, the Dothraki, and troops from House Greyjoy, House Tyrell, Dorne, and 3 dragons. No big deal. Just 3 dragons or whatever. Tyrion Lannister serves as the Hand of the Queen, and apparently it came at the cost of her two advisors, Sir Jorah Mormont, who has been sent to find a cure for his grayscale infection, and Dario Naharis 2.0, her lover, who Daenerys ordered to stay behind so that she may pursue a potential marriage alliance to aid her in her campaign at Westeros. But unknown to Daenerys, however, there is already somebody across the Narrow Sea who may very well have a stronger claim to the Targaryen monarchy than she does, and who may prove to become her most valuable ally or her greatest enemy yet. And beyond the wall, little fucker Bran Stark has been training in the power of the green sight under the tutelage of the Three-Eyed Raven, and learned many devastating secrets, including the origin of the White Walkers and the true parentage, or at least, well, he knows the true parentage of Jon Snow. Who could it be? We'll talk about it, won't we? And following an attack which claims the lives of the Three-Eyed Raven, Hodor, and the last of the Children of the Forest, Bran Stark and Mira Reed have been rescued by none other than Benjen Stark and taken back to the Wall, where they must prepare for the arrival of the Night King, who at all costs must be defeated before Westeros can dream of another spring. I always like that, what they do with the book titles. Very clever. Very clever. Anyway, that's it. That's it. So there you have it. Season 7 of Game of Thrones. What'd you think? Tell me about it. Tell me what you thought about Season 7. What you remember of it, anyway. Non-spoilers, by the way. You know, don't express all of your thoughts at once.
It's like a fog. I'd say it's like a fog.
Yeah.
It kind of just went by. Things happened. I don't know. I don't deny that things happened.
It's just not particularly memorable, is it?
No, it's not. It's not a memorable.
Like there's moments in it that are cool, and I think it's like still well shot and generally speaking pretty well acted. But it's just kind of like, I don't know. Like it really feels like it's missing a step.
Like after the events of season 5, you think shit would be going down in a certain way.
Well, season 6. Six
or was
put
it
so many things on the
yeah,
board.
It's 6. I'm sorry, season 6.
Yeah, no, like the Great Sept of Baelor, you got Jon's parentage. I mean, you got literally just the things I just spent 10 minutes fucking talking about. Like, there's a lot to cover. There's a lot of things, like a lot of really interesting,
a lot of consequences should be going on. Right.
Yeah, it really feels like there should be more happening, and there just doesn't. Maybe there's just no urgency to any of it. Or
it feels like from the momentum of the events of season 6, there should be heavy, fast momentum.
Like it feels like it should be in some ways a Red Wedding 2.0 type situation where, or maybe probably even more like a post season 4 type thing, like a post time, like time when you take Tywin Lannister off the board and you take a bunch of major players off the board. Like, I don't know, like it's not quite the same thing. It's not, but like it is literally, it's like Cersei versus the world. And it feels like the world is closing in on Cersei, or at least it should be. But right. I don't know. Like I never really.
You never get that feeling.
Yeah, like it's mostly just like.
I think that's where the show really struggles. It does good with all the tension, but when there's a power vacuum, like the weakest season of the show, I think up until this point was the season.
5.
Yeah, was the season after when the power vacuum was created.
Yeah, you had this major shit pop off, and you're like, oh my god,
what's going to happen?
Where do we
next?
go from here? And then
it's like, it's back down to a crawl,
nothing.
And nothing's fucking happening.
Nothing happens.
Right.
The answer is nothing.
Right. And I think you get a lot of that in season 6. Now there's a huge power vacuum. Cersei is seized control of the throne. The world's closing in on her, and she has enemies everywhere. And they go on these grand adventures to try to to try to convince the world of the impending doom that's happening. And it just doesn't. Yeah, I don't know, man. It feels like a slog. It's I don't know. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, I mean, in spite of this being actually a shorter season, it is only 7 episodes. It's the first in the entire series to this point that's shorter than 10. I don't know, man. Like it was a real struggle to get through these episodes. Particularly, I think the early ones where all logic kind of just gets thrown out the window for a bit. No, that's true of the later ones too. But at least there's a little bit of spectacle kind of spiced in, I think, in the middle and towards the end to kind of just be like, all right, I mean, this is all pretty incredibly dumb, but pretty pictures. Me like pretty pictures. I think it still has some of the broad strokes of things that are interesting. And in a way, this one feels like a lot of table setting, I think is ultimately kind of what it boils down to. There's not anything particularly groundbreaking in it, I wouldn't say, and there's not anything that particularly like world breaking or like, you know, like there are a few things that happen, but it's all very accelerated in terms of how it gets about that, because it feels like it's just it's ready to tee up, you know, season 8. Like, we know we got to get these characters. We know that these characters need to be taken off the board, or these characters need to be paired up, and we know that that's going to set up the final conflict, you know, quote unquote, the final conflict. Now, obviously, we've seen what happens with it, and we obviously have had thoughts on it, and we'll have thoughts on it that we'll utter on the record before long. But this one, even I think when it was airing, almost a couple of years ago, you know, it really felt like, I don't know, like this is the penultimate season, but I'm not getting the sense that
I don't have the sense of the stakes.
No, and it really feels like they could have done a lot more to make it feel like it has finality. Like, it really, to me, felt like they didn't want to totally push into the end game of it just yet, because I don't know why. It's kind of my, I guess, kind of my concern with how I felt about this. I think even back then, and highlighted even more now that we know how it ends, it's kind of just like there's a lot of heavy lifting that they force themselves to do in season 8, I think unnecessarily, because there's a lot of wasted time in this. It is a real season 5 type situation where it's just like, hey, like, you've got, you know, you guys gave yourself 13 episodes to finish this, and you haven't pushed the needle in any sort of significant direction, I think, for the most part, through 7 episodes. I mean, maybe you could say by episode 6, there's maybe like one particular thing that happens that maybe changes the strength of certain parties and conflicts, I guess. Maybe we'll talk about it in spoilers, but other than that, it really just feels like it's really just like it's like, I don't know. To me, it feels like just you wait kind of thing. It's just like you ain't seen nothing yet, kid. Like, that's what it feels like to me. But it's just like, we should have seen something. Like, you had the opportunity. You had 7 episodes to give me something, and I'm not going to say that it's like really bad or anything like that. I think once you get past like the first couple episodes, it's totally enjoyable. It's totally watchable.
Doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't. That doesn't say that nothing happens. It's
no, and like I think it's by the good, you know, the show's in our good graces. You know, we like the characters, so it's fun to see the characters and see where they are. But in terms of really advancing what is purported to be the major storyline, it really feels like a lot of just, I don't know, like just a lot of nothing, or a lot of kind of fucking around, or like why is this, you know, there's like a big plot thing that the whole like last part of the season revolves around. I'm like, why are we wasting our time with this? I mean, it's incredibly dumb. It's one of the dumbest things the show has ever insulted our intelligences with, but it's also just, it really feels like an excuse to have spectacle, and in ways that it's not really appropriate, I suppose. Like, there's spectacle in the middle that I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, I can kind of get that as a thing, but I don't know, like, it doesn't seem too concerned with having any sort of forward momentum, which is concerning when this is almost it, you know?
Right.
And you know, with the benefit of hindsight now that we have seen the final season, as somewhat of a precursor to what we're going to talk about in that episode, they covered too much shit in 6 episodes. They should have done that earlier. They should have pulled back on some of that, or, you know, I have more issues than just that, but I really feel like it highlights the fact that they wasted a lot of space, and they did it within season 8 itself too. But it's like, you didn't have to make it this way, you know. Even if you do the exact broad strokes of where you want the characters, you want these characters to meet up. Cool, you know. There's interesting character pairings. There's characters encountering each other that we have never really seen, you know, on the, you know, share screen before, and I enjoy that. And I get the broad strokes of kind of where they want to get with some of these characters, and there are satisfying moments with things, but I don't know, it just it doesn't come together, and I think that's what's frustrating. And, by the time I think this happened for both of us, by the time episode 7 rolled around, and we saw that the runtime on it was like an hour and 20 minutes, I was just like, oh. And like you'd think like, oh, well, maybe they're doing things now, but it's mostly just people sitting around having a chat about things that I'm not sure why they're really having a chat about it, because it seems like a waste of time to me. But what are you gonna do? I suppose I don't know. I guess I'm mostly talking in circles. We might as well just jump into spoilers at this point. I don't really know what else to tell you other than it could have been so much more, and I think that
it should have been.
I think I know that there was I know between season 6 and 7 it was about a year's worth of time, and I know that they took more time off between 7 and 8. I almost feel like they should have allotted some of that time to before 7 to really, really carefully plot out 7 and 8. I also think that you probably, if there's a lot of big shit that happens, but it just happens. Like there's no build up to it, and they're just like, these characters are off the map. Fuck them. Oh, this is some magic bullshit, and none of it really feels quite earned, I guess, is kind of my problem with it. And I feel like if they had more time to sit down and really, really think it out, I really think they could have stuck the landing a lot more. Even in season 7, even here, I think you could have seen some pretty epic shit popping off. Stuff that, even though it's not the end, even though there's still things to come, you're thinking, oh, fuck me. And even if you are waiting 2 years, like we basically did, we basically waited 2 years to get the season 8, and I think that we thought that them having that extra time was to give them like, oh my god, like they're gonna crush it and everything like that, but it didn't quite do that. So to me, I don't know. A lot of this feels like they just needed to go to the drawing board or something. So I don't know. Anyway, I've kind of put out some. This is like a mixed season 7 and season 8 review. Fuck it, we're doing season 8 right now. No, I'm just kidding. I have obviously my frustrations with it, and it's more, I think, with regard to season 7, it's more in the sense of, why didn't you take advantage of this when you needed to? And I guess hindsight's 20/20, right? I guess that's probably what it is. I
mean, you spend the season waiting for things, and then
there are things, but it's just like, why are those the things that, like, why are we concerned with this? Let's just do spoilers.
There's one event that happens at the thing, and it's a pretty massive deal, and it feels like at the conclusion of season 7.
Yeah.
It feels like there's some positive momentum, but I mean, that shit, you waited through fucking what? There's 4 episodes that are fucking hogwash, like a hogwash. It's a funny word. There's literally 4 episodes where you're just, what are you doing? Right? Am I wrong? I really feel like that nothing happened for 4, like, nothing of significant value happened for 4 episodes.
No, not really. Yeah, I mean, stuff that probably either should have been expanded upon to give it a little bit more depth in certain cases, or things that could have been condensed,
right?
Depending on what it was, so that we didn't just sit around meandering with a lot of things. And I think there's a lot of meandering happening here, because it really feels like they're pussyfooting around the fact that, like, as it turned out, that they probably didn't know how to end it. But spoilers. Let's do full spoilers for Game of Thrones season 7. Well, it's a little truncated, so hopefully we won't be here all night talking about it.
No, I don't think there's a lot to talk about. Bottom line is, are you going to do this in an order?
Yeah, I think because it's a little bit shorter, we can kind of just largely proceed in order of how the season plays out, which means that there's not going to be a whole lot to talk about in the early parts of the season.
Okay.
We'll drift location by location as well, but this is largely grouped in order of the series of events. So we'll talk about the bigger things that happen towards the end of the episode. Dragonstone. Dany lands at Dragonstone. Her birthplace. It's her first time back to Westeros technically, and then she's just there for most of the season. She does a few things here and there. We'll talk about that, but I don't know. Like I feel like just having her there for a whole season, basically doing a whole lot of nothing, is really kind of baffling, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it seems like at the very least there should be a conflict between Cersei and Dragonstone, right?
Yeah, like Cersei's just
like
straight up
hey,
shit. She's
Euron.
just chilling. She's just chilling up in the Red Keep, like
Euron,
drinking her wine.
What we're gonna do, Euron, is we're gonna send your fucking boats to blockade fucking Dragonstone. We're gonna put that bitch on lockdown on Dragonstone. That's what we're gonna do.
Well, speaking of Euron, so episode 1, I made notes after episode 1, and then I'm like, whatever. So basically, Euron, walks into the throne room to up to Cersei. He's like, I want to fuck a queen, or whatever.
I'm gonna put a baby in your belly.
Yeah.
I pushed my brother off the bridge, and I'm coming here,
Hogan?
and
Was
I'm
that
gonna
Hulk
put
Hogan
a
or Euron Grayson?
baby in your belly. I'm gonna put a baby in your belly, brother.
My question is, so Yara and Theon, they steal a fuck ton of ships from the Iron Fleet. Surely they don't steal the whole fleet. I get that, but then Euron is like, we're gonna build a whole fucking fleet. Out of what? What's he building it out of? He's on the Iron Islands. You tell me the whole fucking just forest of there that they can construct literal fucking ships, and like, I don't even know how long it's been. And that's a general complaint that's true of this. Like, the timeline in here is absolutely fucked. None of it makes any goddamn sense. We talked about it briefly, and we'll talk about it as it pertains to a certain thing happening later, but like, everyone is literally just fast traveling on the map at this point, and no fucks are given with regard to that. No indication of any passages of time. No indication
How
of
long
how
do you
long
think
it's
it
even
takes
been.
to construct a
like
fucking mega
Dany
ship?
probably got from fucking Pentos or wherever the fuck she was.
Essos. You would say Essos, right?
Essos. She probably got from Slaver's Bay to Dragonstone in about a day, because fuck you, why not?
Right.
And like, everyone just teleports around at will, and I don't know how long anything is supposed to have been. Like, has it been like a couple years? Has Dany been sailing for like months and months and months? Now she finally makes landfall, but even then, like, Euron, if he says he has like thousands of ships, and maybe he's just full of shit like he is with many things. But at the same time, if he has even like 100 ships that he's now freshly constructed, again, out of what, from where, and how, like the manpower alone, no, just doesn't make any sense. I just don't understand the logistics of that. I mean, that's absolutely fucking crazy talk. And if he was able to construct that many ships, it would have taken a lot of time. I mean, this is not, even if they were building them today.
What is the
would take a lot of
population
time.
of the Iron Islands, really? What is the population? How many
That's
people
what I mean.
wanna
It's
live
just
in
like,
the
it's
Iron
like
Islands?
they're just like, we know that we want Euron to be paired off with Cersei, so that because let's face it. I mean, Cersei on paper is absolutely fucked. She's every team playing the Harlem Globetrotters at this point. You know she's gonna lose. You know what I mean? Aside from that one time, I think that they accidentally beat the Globetrotters. They weren't. I don't think they were supposed to. I forget who it was. I think it was the Washington team. Anyway, so it's kind of that's kind of what blows my mind, is just like they wrote themselves into a corner in some ways with the fact that Dany has alliances with the Tyrells, with the Dornish. She's got like 17 armies of her own. She's got 3 fucking like, Dany is the most fucking overpowered character, and I don't mean that in a demeaning way. I just mean in the sense that, like,
why is she spending her time on Dragonstone? Why don't she just fucking
why the fuck are we entertaining the thought that she's ever, like, she has a fighting chance at losing this battle? Like, she doesn't. She doesn't. But then the writers were just like, okay, how do we even the odds? So you bring in Euron and his billion ships that he's built out of thin air, and then, like, within like 2 episodes, the Greyjoys get fucked up, the Dornish get fucked up, Tyrell is dead, and it's just like, what? I'm like, I mean, I'm not going to say that, like, none of those things shouldn't have happened, but they shouldn't have happened in the manner that they did. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't remember exactly how the Greyjoys happened. I'm sure Euron just snuck up on them when they weren't expecting it, but, like, I don't know. The whole thing was like, no, he did have, like, 1 billion ships when he did that. Because that's how, like, he attacked him on the sea. So it's like, where the fuck did those ships come from? And I don't know. Just the whole manner in which it was all executed was just bad. And I think part of the problem, too, is that it makes Tyrion just look like a bumbling fucking idiot. Which, to be fair, he's mostly been reduced to a bumbling fucking idiot for seasons now. But, like, Tyrion's, like, you know, genius masterstroke plan is like, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And then when everyone expects that, you know, he's the shocked Pikachu meme, you know, like that's Tyrion, but that's him the entire season. There's no point in where he's just like why is he Dany's hand? Like, Dany has literally everything going for her, and you could maybe point to Tyrion as the only reason that she doesn't just wipe everyone off the face of the map right now. I don't know. I just, the logic behind it is fucking wild to me.
She should have come on Westeros like a fucking wave. Coordinated attack from the south and just fucking...
It's not like Cersei has a lot of support. She has support from nowhere. And so, again, they give her Euron, okay, to maybe even the odds, but, like, Euron's a fucking loser, man. Like, he's... Maybe if Euron was, like, a cool character, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'm on the side, but, like, he's fucking poorly acted. Poorly written. He's just an absolute dog shit character. Maybe the worst character on this entire series. I mean, I don't think that's a hot take. He's absolutely fucking miserable to watch every time he's on screen, and not even in like a I love to hate this villain kind of thing. Like, not like he's not even a hateable villain. He's literally, he walked in from another fucking, you know, he walked in from another show. You know, he walked in from a
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, he walked in from, and not even like the first one. Like, I'll give the first one some credit. Like, he's the villain from the upcoming Pirates of the Caribbean film, where they're bringing Johnny Depp back.
He showed up on the wrong set.
Like, I don't know, man. That's what I say about that. Anyway, so where else? Where's everyone? Winterfell. Jon's king in the north for a bit, and then he gets a summons from Dany. So he says, maybe she'll be my queen, and I
can't say it.
Well, I say he does proclaim her queen, so we're in spoilers.
She's my queen.
He's like he calls her Dany. He calls her Dany.
Well, how about my queen?
We'll get there.
You're my queen.
So Winterfell's an interesting state of affairs happening up at Winterfell. So Jon is, you know, he's Jonning about, you know, he is arguably good at leadership, but he's got too much of Ned's upbringing in him, so he always tries to do the right thing, and often that's not the most politically savvy thing to do. So he bails out of Winterfell pretty early on in the season, and leaves, you know, entrusts it to Sansa at that point. And then, we didn't even talk about Arya. Okay, I gotta say, I knew I was in for a rough time with the most fan-wankiest bullshit of Arya impersonating Walder Frey. Like, fuck off with that shit. I mean, I don't know if you agree or disagree. You're welcome to challenge me on this, but, like, we touched on it already. She was blind and she swept around, you know, swept a room for a bit, and then she got hit with sticks. And, like, and now she's fucking literally impersonating Walder Frey,
Master Assassin,
and killing the entire, like, Frey, you know, family. I'm like,
and the Bannerman.
Really? Like, I don't know. It was
well,
so
here's the question.
Goofy to me. That really, that was like pure fan fiction. Just the way it was. Like, if Arya's training, if I could convincingly believe that Arya actually learned anything in the 2 seasons she was at Braavos, I could probably buy that sequence as like a really cathartic kind of like, hey, it's not Lady Stoneheart, but fuck Walder Frey and fuck his family. So yeah, this is cool. But it's just it's not earned for me. Like, it really just felt like.
Now the question is the faceless men boiled down to a bunch of impersonators, or do they legitimately become who they try to be? But there's a lot that goes into the Arya thing, because you're not just changing a face. Seems like you would have to have a similar fucking stature, right? Like, for example, I can't just, hey, you know what?
Well,
I'm gonna
and
faceless,
that's what
I'm gonna faceless man the mountain, and now I'm gonna morph from a little girl to a fucking mountain man. That doesn't make any sense. You can't do that.
And like I could kind of, I mean, I'm sure she's not that far off in terms of height from Walder Frey, but yeah, I agree with you. And for me, I've always assumed there's a presumption of magic involved to it.
Yeah,
because it's not wearing a mask.
No,
it's literally fucking become a person. Like, you know, if you know, God forbid, you cut someone's face off and you put it on your face, you wouldn't just look like them. You'd look like someone wearing a fucking face that you cut off someone else's face.
I.e. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Right.
Exactly. It'd be pretty fucked, is what it would be. So you probably...
How's the wine with the fucking Walder Frey fucking face on her face? Oh, man.
So, I
understand what you're saying. I thought it was... The more frustrating thing, although I thought it was a cool sequence, was when she fights. Is when you get like a full blown fight between her and Brienne. Was that the season? Where they spar?
They were just sparring, yeah, not like a proper fight, just like a spar. And like Arya's like master badass and like outclassing Brienne in like 2 seconds. She's like, "You didn't see this dagger coming, did you, bitch?"
Yeah,
and it's just like, where did you learn that? Where like was it on the boat?
We've never seen that before. We've never seen any of that shit before. It's always her attacks have always been like reduced to like poking people with the fucking thing.
Like Arya spent season 5 doing nothing. She spent season 6. Let me check my notes. Doing nothing. Wait, hold on. She managed to get stabbed multiple times in the stomach and not get sepsis from the fucking shit water that she swam around in for a bit. Like, I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, I guess it really comes back to those seasons and kind of the way I was talking about was like, you know you have the time to, like, if you know you're going to get to this point, you
invest.
Going back to seasons 5 and 6, they really needed to do some heavy lifting to show, like, oh, Arya's learning shit. Like, she's really becoming a badass, and it really is an egregious case of tell, don't show, I guess, because like we're basically just told she's a badass without actually being shown why or how.
And
and
it could have been shown. Should have been shown.
It should have been. It
should have been shown with the amount of.
I mean, I guess at this point, like, it's too little, too late. She's already gone. You know, she's back in Westeros,
right?
So it's either she's just useless again, or you just say, fuck it, she trained off screen, which I assume is what happened. Why that was off screen, I don't know, but you know, I guess like I can sweep it under the rug as much as I can, because I do like Arya as a character. I think it totally makes sense for her character to develop into a total badass. Like, I think that's cool.
It's just frustrating that they didn't
I don't know that Maisie Williams really sells it for me, but I also think that's just kind of a natural consequence of never actually seeing her do it. So it's like 6 seasons of character where you can see the rage within her, and then now she's just like a cold-hearted killer. And I'm just like, well, we didn't really see the development of that. She's just there now. Like, that was the end point of her journey, which is great, cool, I get that, but we didn't see how she got there. She was, you know, she started at a 1, if you want to say at a 1, then she maybe got to like a 4 or 5, and now she's at a 10. You're just like, well, that's a lot of numbers in between I didn't see,
right,
that I don't understand, and so that kind of just unearned. I said it already. I think that's where it is. It's unearned, and I think a lot of her storyline in this entire season is unearned, because so they have the whole fucking, this subplot is the dumbest fucking thing. The whole spat between her and Sansa, like, just an absolute waste of fucking time. Who cares? Do you care?
I don't remember.
Well, they have like 4 episodes where they're like going at each other, and then she tells Sansa, she's like, "I could fucking wear your face and become you, bitch." And I'm just like, why? Why would you wouldn't do that? Like, no, you wouldn't.
Why would you say that?
and like they bring up the you know, this is all the Littlefinger's machinations, and they bring up the note that Sansa wrote when she was under duress, like in season 1, you know, like dictated by Cersei, and it's just like, this is a bunch of artificial drama for no purpose other than to waste screen time that takes place in Winterfell. That's what it is for me.
That's all it is. No, it's true.
And maybe you could say that it's building to Littlefinger's long-awaited demise, but like, We didn't need any more reason to fucking have Littlefinger get offed. Like,
just
shit,
fucking
man,
do it.
you could have taken that and put it in episode 1 where Jon just looks at Littlefinger and is just like, yeah, fuck him. You know what I mean? Like, and like, yeah, it'd be kind of a shitty thing to do after he did basically bail you out of the Battle of the Bastards. But at the same time,
yeah, no, he's a shit,
Fuck
shit
him.
dude. Yeah, no, could have happened.
So I thought that was dumb. I thought that was all dumb. What else is dumb? All of it. Besides all of it. Besides all of it, what's dumb?
Can we talk about the speed of a raven?
Well, we're not there yet.
We're just talking dumb, right? We're just talking about dumb.
Well, that is dumb. That is absolutely correct. Yes, that ties in, I think, to the earlier conversation of the passage of time, and the time traveling and such, and the teleporting and such. So, yeah. Ravens are very fast in Westeros, as we know, or as we learn in season 7, I should say.
Yeah, I guess we'll get there. I don't want to.
We'll get there. I'm just trying to go through the broad strokes of kind of where most of the things are. So Littlefinger, again, does meet a death where he transitions from being like Lady Sansa, and then he's like he's trying to play it cool.
If only I could get just a minute by yourself.
And then
let me get you away by yourself.
No.
If I could have a word, Lady Sansa. And then he just is like, please don't. He starts actually begging. I kind of enjoyed him he's just throwing everything at the wall. He's just like, fuck it, something's gonna stick.
And nothing sticks.
But then super badass Terminator Arya
just
fucking slits his throat in front of everyone. Everyone's just like, yes, this is good. Everything is normal. Please proceed.
Little Bran.
So anyway, fuck Littlefinger. It was nice to see Littlefinger die because he's deserved it for
quite some time,
ever since the beginning, really. But yeah, Bran. Talking about Bran. What does Bran do in this season?
Littlefinger gave me this dagger, and I don't want it.
Have it.
I don't want it. What will a cripple do with this dagger?
Bran is such a fucking waste of time in this really, I guess, as it turns out in the series. But it's like they don't. It's like even the writers just like anytime the three-eyed raven gets mentioned, every character next to Bran is just like,
what's that mean?
I don't know what that means. And he's just like, oh. and the audience is just like they're like the audience is like oh like there's gonna be the payoff here, like oh this is the moment where like we're gonna learn like oh what does it mean, and every time it's just they're just like what the fuck does that mean, asshole? And then Bran's just like Did you know that ravens travel at the speed of light?
I am going away now.
Oh man, Bran, it's just an absolute waste. It's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, he doesn't do a whole lot.
It's like
he does drop that bomb. He does drop that bomb on Littlefinger, which is pretty cool. What's he say to him? It was like a
chaos is a ladder.
Yeah, that's it. And he looks shook.
Littlefinger's like, what? I'm the only person that's ever uttered that phrase.
And you have to think about it too. How old is that phrase? Like, how long ago did he say chaos is a ladder? That's like 4 seasons ago.
Season 3, I want to say.
Season 3, right. Okay, how many years?
I don't know. Could be fucking 3 days for all we know.
I guess you're right. We know it's not 3 days, so it's got to be years. At the very least, it's got to be years.
I'm sure. I mean, I mostly just assume that it's like a year per season-ish, or like between seasons. Well, it's not really true, I guess. Not really, but
let me ask you something.
I just headcanon that because, like, obviously, like, I mean, it's more, I think, just a case of actors getting older, but like, well, Maisie Williams and Sophie Turner aren't kids anymore. Isaac Hempstead Wright, not a kid anymore, so the kids are adults now. I mean, visibly adults now, so presumably their characters have at least aged several years. Otherwise, it's all fucked, but I don't know.
Anyway, I just thought that was kind of... I'm going to look shook over you uttering a phrase that I said fucking 10 years ago.
Chaos is a ladder. Oh.
How did you know I said that 10 years ago? How do I remember I said that 10 years ago?
I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Dragonstone, is there anything else to say on Dragonstone? Not really.
Yeah, there's cave paintings.
All right, well, let's talk about it. So Jon goes down, to meet up with Dany. I so there's the cave paintings of the White Walkers, which is basically, like John's trying to convince Danny to give him dragon glass to help fight against the White Walkers, and then he's like, hey, she's got 3 dragons, that could be helpful. And so he's trying to, win her over to help with the
McQueen,
the only war that matters, the Great War, and then, so I guess as they're mining the dragon glass, they find the cave paintings, and they're I don't want to cut you off. Did you have any particular thoughts on it?
No,
since you brought it up, or is that just something that's stuck in your head for some reason?
It's a fun, the cave paintings. That's all, just cave paintings.
I remember when I saw it live, the first thing I thought of is just like, Danny should probably ask John if he just drew them right now, like, look.
Did you just draw
these must have been here for years.
Thousands of years. The first men stood here. Just draw these. They don't look like they were drawn by accomplished artists.
He's got a piece of chalk in his hand. Is that chalk in your hand? No. Just throws it down. Stomps on it.
Brushes the chalk off on his pants. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about it. There was that spiral, which must be significant.
Mm-hmm. What does it mean?
Tell
me what it means. Bran, who knows everything about everything, tell me what it means.
He has stories, he should be able to know.
Yeah, he does have a really good story, I would say.
But yeah, just, they want to mine the dragon glass. That's all I got,
Yeah, dragon glass. I mean, I like the John Danny pairing. I think that's maybe one thing I can say about it, is that I like having those. It's two big characters that have been, very far apart in terms of continents for all the series up to this point, coming together. John and Tyrion, having a little thing together is cool. It's interesting to see certain characters that either have never interacted or haven't interacted in a long time. Like, that's what makes it feel like, oh shit, we're building to a head. All these all these storylines are converging. That's cool. What I don't buy is their romance. Like, I didn't mind it when I watched it the first time around. I think maybe because I just like the two characters, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it makes sense they'd want to fuck. I get it. Both very attractive people, seem to like each other pretty well. I get it.
Let it happen.
Totally cool.
Yeah.
But it's another thing for me that just feels very rushed, very accelerated, to the point where it's just like suddenly they're like madly in love with each other by the end of the season. I'm like, really? Why? Like, I mean, I get it. Like, you want to bang or whatever. Like, totally cool. I get that. Again, two attractive people. What? Why not? But. Well, I guess maybe there's a good reason why not, I suppose, but they don't know about that, do they?
No.
I mean, it hasn't stopped the Targaryens before, though, in a way, has it? So maybe that's not such a big issue, but I don't know. Like, again, it was just like they know that they wanted these characters to be together by the end, but they only had 7 episodes to do it, and a lot of it is just, John mean-mugging it around and, squinting a bit as he looks off at dragons and shit, and Danny's kind of like, I don't know, like it's like they just flipped the switch on at some point and are like, good enough. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. Like, it was off for a while and then it's on, but when it's on, baby. You know,
like
I don't know. Anyway, it's fine. Again, I don't mind that as an endpoint. I just wish they did some heavy lifting to actually
make you care about it.
Show to me, like, the writing is just fallen off such a massive cliff. Like, you think about the intricacies of seasons 1 through 4 in terms of the plotting, in terms of the dialogue, in terms of the writing, and this is just like, anyway, cocks.
Yeah, right. I find it interesting that Danny would ask John for his opinion on how to handle warfare and things, with him being I mean, she just met him and he's potentially a threat. You know what I mean?
Well, he's so sexy, though.
Yeah, whatever.
Did you ever think about that? You didn't even think about that, you piece of shit, did you?
I don't know. I did like the thing where he says, I'm leaving. She goes, I didn't give you permission to leave. Well, with respect, I don't need your permission, my king. And fucking walks out of there. It's like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, but then I'm pretty sure he still stuck around, didn't he? Yeah. Pretty sure he was just there on the island most of the time. I did enjoy his power move at the end. He's just like, Danny and I will sail together, and everyone's like, well, I don't know if that's a good idea, dude. And then Danny's just like, we'll sail together. we'll sail. We'll sail together.
I'll ride your boat, John. I'll ride your boat.
I don't know. It's all a bit, you know. It's all a bit, you know. So anyway, King's Landing. Cersei's sipping on wine, having a grand old time. Mostly just she's got a. I really don't think Lena Headey has it, but it seems like every time she slips into Cersei, she just has like, it's not even a resting bitch face. It's just like a stink face.
Yeah.
Like she always has a stink face. Like every time she just looks at someone, you just see disdain in her face. Like she just immediately sees someone. She's like, I can't be fucked with this person right now.
Not right now.
And so that's like Cersei at this point. Is like she's lost her kids. Jaime is, I don't know. They have issues, I suppose, but sometimes they like each other. I don't know what's going on there. You know, she doesn't have a lot of friends in King's Landing. She doesn't have a lot of friends anywhere, for that matter, except for Euron.
Except for Euron.
Except for Euron.
Who can magically make boats. Which I guess if you're going to have a skill, magically making
not a
boats
bad one to have.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, if you're, again, it's a real Arya situation. Hey, just say it's magic. It's fine. We know magic. Like, just say fuck it, man. Like, at least throw us a bone or whatever. But
I've seen a lot of things, but this is the only thing that scared me. I'm going home.
Cersei. I don't know what else to say about her. Is she doing anything early in the season? I don't even know. Braun's just I guess Braun's hanging out with Jaime. I guess Jaime goes out and, you know, he leads the army or whatever, but fuck him. We'll talk about it in just a minute. Citadel, talk about Samwell. Did this storyline do anything for you?
No.
What about the montage of shits?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was I thought that was pretty good. I like that. I thought that was pretty good.
Aside from that, though, I don't know. I don't feel very invested in the whole thing. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
well, if
the Citadel's completely like, what the fuck's the point?
It's really feels like an absolute waste of time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's just, again, it's another for me. It's kind of one of those things. Like when it pops up on the screen, I'm like, oh.
So you're telling me you got all these doctors, you got all the smartest people in the fucking world at this one place. Nobody wants to fucking work on dragon scale. Nobody wants to fucking research the impending doom coming from the north. Nobody cares about anything, and they just sit around fucking clean shit bowls and read books. Yeah. What is your purpose? Why are you here? Why does the world look up to you? You guys do absolutely fucking nothing. What are you doing? What are they doing? They're weighing organs. That's what they weigh the organs. They write out how much.
Well, clean this up for me, would you?
Yeah. I'm done. I cut them out. I'm done. I'm going to go sit down and read this book over by the fire.
Yeah. I'll clean it up for you, Maester.
My favorite part is when he was talking about the shits.
I don't care about Maester's 7,392 steps. Shits. Steps, Sam. Steps.
He does that. He does that eye opening. Yeah.
Yeah. I love Sam. Sam's obviously
great.
a great character.
He's consistently great. It's just like, I don't know. Yeah, he gets stuck in like the worst fucking spot. Who cares?
I almost feel like they should have stuck this in like an earlier season, because it just feels like at this point it's just like, why do I give a fuck about him training to become a maester? Like, even like, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm sure he learns a thing or two about the White Walkers that's probably helpful, but I don't remember what it is, other than like maybe Valyrian steel, or which we already knew. I think dragon glass. That's I guess that's what prompts his whole John's trip down, is the dragon glass or something like that. There's a whole fucking mound of dragon glass at Dragonstone or whatever. I'm like, gee, who'd have thought dragon glass would be at fucking Dragonstone?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of lame.
Yeah, it's just kind of lame. But you know, on the plus side, it turns out the cure to grayscale is to just peel it off. Who knew? No one's ever tried it before.
They did, but it's incredibly dangerous. It's an incredibly dangerous procedure. So we said, "Fuck it, we're just going to live with it."
It's an incredibly dangerous procedure. If you touch it, then you'll contract it. Well, I just wore gloves, Maester. Huh.
Was that in your book? What the fuck? So fucking stupid. It is really fucking stupid. It's so stupid.
I mean, there was an ointment that he had to treat him with, but Just had to peel it off. That's all you had to do. I mean, it's painful or whatever, but you just had to peel it off.
Peel it off, rub a little cream on it, you're good.
So good news is Jorah's good to go. So, good on him. Good on everyone, I suppose. Good on them. All right, let's talk about the big shit. Let's talk about the big shit. We've meandered a bit ourselves in proper Season 7 fashion. The Battle of the Gold Road, the loot train. Things are going swimmingly for Jaime. They just killed Olenna, coming back home. Got the Iron Bank Bravos, bankrolling them or whatever. And then Dany's just like, why am I twiddling my thumbs on Dragonstone like a fucking idiot? Tyrion, you are the worst fucking advisor I've ever seen in my life. You are fired. No, you're not, but I'm going to do what I want. You.
Thank you.
And so we get I think really the first real dash of spectacle in the season with Dany and the dragons coming in and fucking things up in a pretty spectacular fashion for the Lannister army. And again, it shows like this is like maybe episode 4 that happens. It's just like, what have you been doing for 3 episodes? It's just like the way that she absolutely clowns them. I don't know.
It's like a whole fucking legion of Lannisters, dude.
I mean, it felt like she routed the entire Lannister army. I mean, I don't know if they literally sent everyone, but it's a pretty big fucking score of them, I'd have to guess. So Cersei now has Jaime Lannister, who magically doesn't sink in his 100 pounds of armor that he gets pushed into a lake wearing. Fine, I'll accept it. Magic. Again, I'm sure there's some magic involved if I had to guess.
He doesn't even have a hand. He's got a golden hand, and he's weighed down by armor.
He's swimming with one arm.
Dude's fit. Dude's fucking fit.
He's pretty jacked. He's very handsome too, and I think that helps typically.
Helps him float.
So I mean, it was cool. Like, it was cool to see Dany like lay into them and like fuck.
The Dothraki were fucking cool. They were carving people up, dude. That was neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like, cool, but why?
And then you got that fucking thing. They open up the box. Bronn opens up the box and fucking shooting the big crossbow.
Yeah, but he doesn't hit anyone, does he?
And he hit the dragon.
I guess, but it doesn't bounce off the dragon. Like it doesn't hurt the dragon.
I think it like got buried in its like chest or something, didn't it? A little bit.
Yeah, but the dragon just flies around. It's just like, ow, bitch.
And then Danny's up there pulling it out. Give me that bolt. I'll pull it right out, just like a splinter. Pops
I guess that's why Jaime does his last hurrah charge, I guess. But either way, it was not a fatal blow by any stretch of the imagination.
How did Bronn tackle him off of the horse?
If I had to, probably magic. If I had to take a stab at it,
was he riding a horse and then jumped off the horse and tackled him off the horse?
It's probably magic with the side, like a little Salt Bay dash of plot armor. Of plot armor is probably a little plot armor in there if I had to guess.
Okay.
Literal plot armor.
Logistics of how one runs sideways and tackles somebody off a horse like that. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. But anyway, the Tarleys got nice and cooked, didn't they?
They did. That's fucking stupid. You're burning my dad? Fuck it. I'm going with you, Dad. Let's get up here and just fuck it. Son, what are you doing? You're the last one of my name. Fucking sit down. Nope, Dad, burning with you. I don't give a fuck. We're gonna go, let's go up here up this rock.
I'm a man of principle. Okay? All right, well, very, very good then.
Dickon.
Dickon. You wouldn't even say his name. Come on.
Dickon.
Which I think they have like 7 jokes in like one episode about.
Dickon. Jesus.
Any other
Tyrion,
thoughts on
sit
this?
Sit down, please. Don't go with your dad. Just sit down. The last one of your name. Sit down, Dickon. No, I'm Dickon. I'm. Do you even know my name?
I'm gonna get my dick on.
Get my dick on. Dick on Tarly. So stupid. So much stupid shit.
Maybe that's why they had 7 jokes. It's just a really funny name.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what the fuck.
Anything else to say about this little sequence here?
That was cool. It was just a cool little episode, I guess.
It was visually entertaining. It was just like, all right, whatever, cool. Dany flexing her muscles, good for her and such. Now, after that, was that 4 or 5? Fuck, I don't even remember.
Yeah, that was 4.
That was 4. What happened?
Cave paintings. 5. That's the one where they burn Dick on.
Oh, okay. So that's that's the beginning of that.
Post
Okay.
fight.
Well, anyway, at some point, everyone makes an executive decision that for some reason they want to have a truce with Cersei Lannister, and in order to secure this truce,
we're just going to prove that they're zombies.
We're going to take an expedition north of the wall to capture a white, bring it back down, and show it to Cersei Lannister, and that's somehow going to convince her that the Army of the Dead is real, and that the Night King is real, and that the White Walkers are real, and she's totally going to throw her support behind us. Whose idea is this? Is this a Tyrion idea? It feels like a Tyrion idea with how fucking stupid it is.
I think so.
I'm of the opinion, personally, that the whole idea itself is absolutely fucking stupid. I mean, just fucking take a dragon.
I don't think
take a dragon, blow up the Red Keep. You're done. You've defeated Cersei. She's always in there drinking wine. She's not going to be anywhere else. You're done. Just take a dragon.
Just do it.
Unannounced. Just pull what you did, where you just fucking destroyed Jaime minus his plot armor. Blow up the Red Keep.
Fall out of the sky.
Blow up the Red Keep.
That's it.
And go plop your happy ass on the Iron Throne. You're done. You've done it. Now you rule the Seven Kingdoms. You got Jon Snow. So even if the North, maybe the North doesn't want to be independent anymore, and you're covered there, and now you can consolidate power at that point, because you will effectively have be the de facto ruler of the Lannister army, what's left of it at that point, if there's any left of it at that point, which I assume there must be. Euron, his ships are made of wood. It wouldn't be the first time the dragons have burned ships.
Or you just fucking fly way up high to where they're up there in the clouds, and you just drop down on top of King's Landing. You don't even have to. The fuck do you even need an army for? Just land your fucking dragon on top of the castle.
I don't really understand this whole approach of a truce. I mean, maybe you don't want to kill Cersei or whatever, but like, why would you want to kill Cersei? Like, I mean, like everyone around you should probably be advising her, like, especially Tyrion. Tyrion alone should be like, Cersei is the last person you should trust. She's tried to murder me multiple times. She'll do it probably on the first opportunity that she gets. But we're gonna go through this. We're gonna put ourselves at great risk on the slight chance that Cersei will have a change of heart. Change her tune, and give us half the army that the remainder of the army after we disintegrated. What was left. I mean, like,
it doesn't make any sense.
What fucking plan is this?
It's really stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
It's so stupid. And I think the only thing, I mean, this is literally only here so they can have some cool shit happening north of the wall. And there is some entertaining things that happen north of the wall. And I think if I could say one thing about this whole Beyond the Wall sequence, it's that I really like the cast of characters they assemble for the journey. I think the actual moment-to-moment things of them interacting and them encountering, the whites and stuff like that. I liked a lot of that. It was just the rationale behind it was just the dumbest fucking thing in the world. It's just like, I don't know how you create those sequence of events without creating a super dumb rationale. Like, why the fuck would any of those guys volunteer to just fight the Army of the Dead? Like, I don't know. It's all a bit silly, but I felt like they could have retained a lot of those broad strokes and just incorporated it into an actual logical sequence where, hey,
here's a question.
Maybe the fucking, the Night King are crashing Castle Black or something like that somehow. Like, I guess, I know there's magic in the wall that's apparently, retarding them from getting through or whatever, but like, I don't know, like, why everyone is putting themselves in completely needless risk for the dumbest thing possible. It's really just insane. And again, it's literally just an excuse to have some cool things happen.
I know we haven't talked about this yet.
Okay.
They capture the white, right?
Yeah.
Did they get it beyond the wall before or after the dragon melts the wall?
They get it before, and then they bring it back down. Yeah, so the white crosses over
through the wall.
Through the wall. So the magic carries through the wall. That's a good point. Yeah, that's kind of fucked.
How's that work? And not only that, but the one got into Castle Black in fucking season 1.
That's true. Yeah, it was like a dead body, and then it got reanimated.
What the fuck?
So maybe the whites can go, but the White Walkers can't.
Okay,
in which case, if I'm the White Walkers, just like, hey, you've got millions of fucking dead people, send them. Just fucking bum rush the fucking gates.
Here's another question.
Black. That's a good point. Yeah, that's actually really dumb.
It's really dumb, super dumb. Here's another question: if this is your goal, right? Hey, let's convince everything south of the wall that this is a serious problem. Let's grab one of these undead people and let's bring them in and let's show them to the powerful houses and get this shit going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why did it take 7 seasons for this to happen? You start in the first Raven. There's dead people marching up. We need help. Nobody answers the help.
Because those whites that came at Castle Black. Yeah.
It's like, fuck, okay, well then let's just grab a fucking zombie. Let's grab 7 zombies, capture 7 zombies, and
capture some zombies, send them in the mail down to King's Landing and say, hey, fuckers, take a look at this. Hey, Joffrey, take a look at this, you absolute piece of shit.
Season fucking 4. Do it in season 4.
King Tommen would have taken those concerns very seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody would have. Which is, why does it take 7 seasons and 3 fucking kings and shit in order to do it? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Anyway,
stupid. It's stupid.
It's all incredibly stupid. But you got Jon, you got Tormund, got the Hound, Beric Dondarrion, Thoros of Myr, Jorah Mormont, and Gendry. It's a pretty good ragtag band of
That's good.
Some dudes to
one of
to
which is a
fight off
king
some.
of an absolute fucking whole half of a continent, and he wants to just go on beyond the wall to the zombie army with fucking 6 people.
I feel like that's totally within Jon's characterization to just do dumb shit like that. So I buy that. I can totally see Jon. I'll do it myself. And like, yeah, because people call him on it. I'm like, why the fuck would you do? That's the dumbest thing possible. And I'm like, yeah, that's why Jon's doing it. Because he has a habit of, being a real Ned Stark about things. So I kind of get that. But I don't know. Like Jorah, he kind of wants to prove his service to Dany. Like, okay, cool. Now that he's gotten the grayscale pulled off him, literally just being pulled off him.
Like, why don't we grab like a few hundred soldiers? Why don't we go 100 deep?
I don't know.
It's 100 people deep.
It's all a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Isn't it a bit ridiculous?
The most ridiculous thing. We're here now, dude. We're here. They're up there, and they send the fucking Raven. They send Gendry. They go beyond the wall. However far they go beyond the wall, right? And it's a big fucking trek.
They're trekking for a bit. They're not just a few feet away from the wall at this point.
Gendry, run back to the wall.
At least the whole forest away. There's like a forest, kind of like a little bit of ways that we can see from the top of the wall. So it's at least past that. Probably well past that, if I had to guess.
Days, right? They've been hiking for days. Run back to the wall and send a Raven. We'll stay right here on this fucking frozen rock lake.
They do mention that he was the fastest of them. What they neglected to mention is that he also has teleporting capabilities.
Yeah,
so that's why he's so fast, obviously.
And those leeches did something to him, I guess. But
got that red magic flowing through his veins.
It's the king's blood. Anyways, motherfucker runs all the way back to the wall, sends a Raven. Now, meanwhile, the other guys are surrounded by the army of the undead on a frozen lake.
Right.
Waiting from a Raven
chilling.
That's half a continent away. The Raven literally has to fly from the tip.
It's probably almost. Where's Dragonstone relative to?
It's King's Landing.
Okay.
You had the Blackwater, and then across the Blackwater, you got Dragonstone.
Okay, so yeah, so okay, we'll say half content. Okay, all right, sure. So that's still a good fucking ways.
How long did it take Ned Stark and them to travel from horseback from
3 months from Winterfell to King's Landing?
Yeah, right. No, the fucking Raven flies all the way to fucking Dragonstone in time. Not only does the Raven fly to Dragonstone, but Dany hops on her dragon and flies beyond the wall to save the guys that have just been chilling on the fucking rock.
I feel like the only explanation for this is that Dany, like an hour or two after they left, Dany's just like, I should probably go. And then she just leaves. That's like she never received the Raven at all?
She just assumed, fuck, they've been gone for a long time.
She must have, like, in order for any of this to have any sort of semblance of any sense whatsoever, she has to have left well ahead of the Raven's arrival. Like, that Raven's showing up, like, months later, and, like, we don't even know who's still on Dragonstone at that point, but let's, assume that they're still there to be like, oh, yeah, John and company, they've been dead for months now. Yeah,
presumably
they got turned into White Walkers or into Whites within days. Like
how does she even know where to go look for them?
That's a good. Well, isn't there something that happens? I don't know. Probably just looking for the big army of the dead from above. I mean, she's on a dragon. She can see from above. So
now, I don't doubt that a dragon flies significantly faster.
Oh, that dragon teleports. Didn't you know? Magic.
But also, if it flies that fast, how is she holding on to it? I guess people hold on to airplanes a couple 100 mile an hour, don't they? But then again, they're not holding on. But then again, they're not holding. Yeah, it's true. He's fucking plastered to the side of the airplane.
The other window. The other door.
She's literally flying to John to save him. for days.
Gotta go faster. More speed.
Just go. And then she gets there, and homeboy's a fucking gold medalist, fucking javelin thrower. He throws that spear so fucking hard. We've seen the crossbow, right? The crossbow penetrated just a little bit. Big ass fucking trailer, massive crossbow. Takes 4 horses to pull this crossbow, right? And the bolt barely penetrates this dragon, right? And Danny can pick it out of the dragon flesh. Little Danny can grab a hold of the big ass fucking bolt and pull it out, right? That dude throws an icicle so fucking hard it explodes that dragon. That dragon literally just gets eviscerated. I mean, blood and shit everywhere. Not instantly killing, but just about instantly killing that dragon.
Well,
if you throw an icicle that fucking hard, okay, there's going to be friction in the air, surely. It's going to just melt. Based off of, I mean, you can't throw an icicle that fast.
And it's something
How
I've told
fast
you
can you throw an
mostly in
icicle
jest,
before it melts?
But I'm going to tell you it for real this time.
Okay,
Magic, motherfucker.
Okay, magic icicle. I can buy it.
I mean, this is the case where literally magic can't be used as an answer. I feel so.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm
Explodes
willing to
the fucking dragon.
The broad strokes of that because, like, the Night King should be a fucking bad. I mean, he's a goddamn Night King. I don't know what that means. Probably means he's badass. So this is like a show of badassery. I'm like, oh, they're showing to us that like he's got some legit fucking javelin throwing skills. Like, yeah, this guy would crush it in the Olympics. Absolutely, Winter Olympics, all of them. Just put him everywhere. Summer Olympics, probably not. I
feel like you just throw those javelins into the walls of like Winterfell and shit, and just like fucking blow up castle walls with it.
Should probably throw them into the gate at Castle Black, and then let all the whites come through, even if he can't. Because if you throw 1 million whites through there, they'll just take over Westeros for him.
That's true. True.
Night King, are you listening? Are you listening, Bucko?
But he did raise that dragon, which was pretty fucking cool.
He did raise the dragon. See, what frustrated me, and I didn't remember this happening, but the whole reason that the dragon dies is that Jon continues to be an absolute thundering dumbass for some reason.
Go! I'll stay here and fight the army by myself.
What the fuck are you doing?
Just go! I'm done.
But
I'm done.
He's like a foot away, ready to exit. And Danny's like, hey, let's go, asshole. And then he's just like, he like turns around. He's like, oh, there's like another 100. I got to fight them real quick. And so he runs the other direction. And then everyone's just looking at him bewildered, like, what's this fucking idiot doing? Like, go. And then like that is what buys enough time for the Night King to be able to spear Viserion that way. But I'm just like, you could have had the dragon die and not made Jon into an absolute fucking idiot. Because I'm like, I mean, if I was Danny, I would blame Jon as the reason my fucking dragon died. And let's just say that boat encounter would not be happening, all right? You know?
Yeah,
I would feel a little bit upset about that. Mm-hmm. You know?
Stupid.
I don't know. It's just like why didn't they just have them getting on the dragon and then it gets speared and then they have to all get on one dragon and fucking bail?
Here's the other thing.
You could have just done something where like it actually logically makes sense that the Night King's like fucking them up and they're like, oh shit, we got to get the fuck out of here, and then they dodge a few spears on the way out. Good to go. They lost the dragon, but at least Jon wasn't a thundering dumbass the whole time. I don't know.
You know what else I think stupid? I don't think he's necessarily stupid. I think he's kind of badass. Actually, he's got a flaming like fucking mace thing, which is pretty fucking cool. But Benjen Stark, what the fuck, dude? Benjen Stark's just fucking where he needs to be all the time to save Stark kids.
Jon, get on. Okay, bye.
Go. It's too late. I'm going to stay here and fight them all now. You
What I
tried.
enjoyed-
No, it's
what I
my
enjoyed-
turn.
Like he kicked their ass up and down when he was on the horse, and then he saves Jon, and then like as Jon leaves, he turns around and is like, oh fuck, and he just gets swallowed up within like 2 seconds.
It's the same thing with Bran, though. Bran's just fucking, they're running through the forest. Here comes a flame-wielding zombie, half zombie man. I'll save you. Let's go. I'll take you back to the wall. Can't go past that wall, though. The magic keeps them behind the wall. Except only half of them.
Except for most of them.
Right?
Just some of them can't get through. The big ones can't get through.
They only wrote half the spell on the wall. That's it. Only half the incantations were complete.
They didn't know how to spell white. They spelled it WHITE. No whites
all
allowed.
up.
They're like, well, that's just very racist of you.
Heard you needed me, Jon. I'm going to show up. Here's my horse. I'm done.
So
Stupid.
Any other thoughts on this sequence beyond the wall? Oh, I have another thought.
Yeah.
Undead polar bear.
Oh, yeah. You get, what's that movie? The Reverend? Reverend?
The Revenant.
Revenant,
where
yeah,
Leo
well,
gets fucked up by the bear.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, Thoros.
just-
Poor Thoros.
Thoros
is
just
pulling
screaming,
pulling a real Leo.
Thrown around, yeah.
Yeah. I will say, I almost feel like this entire sequence was the result of someone wanting them to fight an undead polar bear. I just have a very seeking suspicion about it, where it's just like, what if they fought a polar bear?
Fuck yeah.
It's a real John Peters giant spider Superman
Can't be
kind of situation.
a regular polar bear. The Night King is using energy, his energy and his spells to revive a half decomposed polar bear. Functioning use of magic.
It's gonna fuck everything up.
Do you think here's a
Took
logical
Thoros out,
question.
so there you go.
Do you think that the Night King just converts any dead thing? Like the birds. I'm going to raise the birds. I'm going to raise the polar bear. I'm going to raise the fucking dead wolves and the cats and the squirrels.
I'm not sure if like cats and squirrels would be of any use.
Sure,
you know?
if he can see through their eyes.
Well, that's the only thing that would make them useful is if he could warg into them. Which I don't know. Is that a thing for him? I don't know.
I mean, he can. I mean,
Who gives a fuck? It's magic. He can do whatever the fuck he wants, as we've established.
Anyway, yeah. So half decomposed polar bear.
So that's that. Last episode, they go to the dragon pit. They have their powwow, and they show the white.
fucking
and
stupid.
It's just the whole thing's dumb. Like that's your season finale, and I'm like, well, that's a wet fart, isn't it? You know, it's just like
Urine steps up and just starts just talking shit. Everybody's like, just sit down, dude. You fucking suck. You're just a stupid.
I like we got the Clegane bowl set up. You know what's coming for you. You've always known. You're even fucking uglier than I am now. fucking Clegane. I don't know.
I've already sold myself to a one queen. I can't do it. Not gonna be your. Can't have two queens. Can't have two.
I will not swear a vow that I cannot uphold.
She's my queen. I don't
She's
want
my
it.
queen. She's my queen.
Cersei. She's my queen. I don't want it.
She's my queen, Cersei. I don't want it.
But I tell you what, I brought a zombie for you. Look at this box. Why they fucking make the hound go clean up the fucking carry the box on his back? Can't have a couple fucking peons come over and carry the box? Why is the motherfucker got to carry the whole box by himself? Down the stairs. You know, they made like this big fucking thing, and it's obviously heavy. He's struggling with it, and he's gonna send him down there by himself to pick up the fucking box. surely they had to talk about it.
So like, who wants to carry the box? Nose goes. What the fuck is this game?
Fuck it, I'll carry your box, you cunts.
I'll carry it, you fucking cunts.
Here,
I'll carry every fucking box if I have to.
Backpack straps on this big ass box. Who built the fucking box? There's no handles on the box. They put backpack straps on the goddamn box. I need a box made with backpack straps. Would you do what? What? Nobody thought to ask the question. Why you want a big ass box with backpack straps? We put some handles on it. No handles.
No,
Give me backpack straps. It's stupid. That's that kind of summarizes the season for me. The whole thing's just kind of stupid. It's just real stupid.
Yep. That's about it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
It's the kind of things I focus on when I watch stuff.
It's like an hour and 20 minutes of just nothing. It's literally people just standing around, and then, Jon doing his thing, and then Tyrion's like, well, let me just talk to Cersei alone. She'll listen to me. What? What fucking show have you been in, asshole? What the fuck are you talking about?
Man. The wall gets burnt down. That's kind of cool.
The wall comes tumbling down. That's true. The Night Kings are coming. Well, I guess... So it's not really a magic thing, I guess, because he just fucking... Like, it was more of a physical thing. Like, he just has the undead dragon. He has Viserion, and that's the only way that he tumbles the wall down, right? So it's not really magic. Maybe there's no magic keeping them out. It's just like, it's tall. Even though there's ways to get around it, like wildlings have been doing for fucking forever.
What was his grand plan? Surely he did not foresee. Maybe he did foresee, but he doesn't have foresight. We learned this in later seasons. So he did not foresee getting the fucking dragon. So what was his plan? What was he going to do?
I don't know. I mean,
maybe he had all those fucking icicles.
Chuck a bunch of fucking ice spears at the gate. That would have been my plan. I'm just saying, dude.
Could have been the plan. But he was already marching on Eastwatch. The whole army was there.
Yeah.
So,
what was his plan? I don't know. I mean, the dragon's definitely... I mean, that's a pretty big thing to have added to your repertoire, is to have a fucking undead dragon. Like, that's some pretty badass shit. Ice breath and all, It's very cool. Good for
Why do you think they had to drag that dragon out of the water?
They put chains on it. They lifted it out. He's like, hey, undead army, put chains on it and fucking lift it out or whatever.
But why couldn't you just raise it from the bottom of the water and just fucking march it up out of the water?
Well, that would have as much dramatic effect. Actually, it'd probably have more, wouldn't it? I don't know.
Fucking breaking through the ice and just fucking crawling out of the fucking water. That'd have been pretty cool.
Look, I don't know. I don't know the answers to your questions. I don't know. Well, speaking of Jon, we learn of Jon's parentage finally. All of the participants in his parentage, I should say. So we knew he was Lyanna Stark's little babby, and now we learned that he was the child. Well, I mean, we already knew it really, but it's officially confirmed that he was the child of Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen. What does that mean? It means he's the heir to the Iron Throne. Oh my god! Oh, what is that? How does that?
It must have large implications.
What's his relationship to Daenerys Targaryen? Let's do the math on that one. I don't know. I suspect they're aunt and nephew. I suspect as much.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I don't want it.
Oh, I think he wanted it. I think he wanted it quite a bit.
Hey, Littlefinger got cut throat, which we already talked about, but that was nice.
It was a cathartic moment,
And it was like, listen, you did this, you did that. What do you have to say for yourself? Littlefinger. Oh, and they all turn around. Who wrote that?
It's like no one else in the room was surprised, so everyone's just like, we're going to pretend that it's Arya's trial.
But we're going to fuck Littlefinger up.
It's like the box with the backpack straps. Guys, okay, we're going to practice this real quick. Everybody act surprised.
But no one was surprised. They
No one
weren't
was
surprised. Everyone was just like, yes, this is normal proceedings. You've been accused and you didn't even know you were being accused of anything at the time of your trial.
Stupid.
That's how they do justice up in Winterfell, my friend. You just don't know their ways. You don't know their ways.
Behind door number 2.
And the verdict is guilty.
Oh shit!
Absolutely fucked. Any other lingering thoughts on season 7?
It's really fucking stupid. Now that I actually, I walked into this episode thinking about, I don't really remember a lot. The more we talk about, the more
what's happened is that your brain has blocked out most of it.
Yeah, I think
is
so.
what's happened.
I think so. It's just really stupid.
It leans a bit on the stupid side.
Yeah.
It sure does.
All right. Well, what do we got? Is that
let's
it?
do our thing.
Oh, yeah,
we
okay.
got some. So I got some questions to answer, begrudgingly. Favorite episode? Do you have a favorite episode in mind? I struggled with this one, so I'm actually curious to hear what you have to say.
Beyond the Wall.
Oh, really? Okay, we picked the same thing. I mean, I thought about the spoils of war because it had the cool thing at the end, but I'm like, I don't remember anything else that happened in that episode. I like the Beyond the Wall in the sense that, despite it being the dumbest fucking thing possible, I do enjoy the actual mission itself. I think it's kind of like it's a fun sequence of things that happens, Polar Bear included. Like cool characters paired together. Dany's rescue, even though the death of Viserion was dumb as shit. The fact that Viserion went out and got resurrected as an undead dragon, like, oh, some fucking, big things happening. Like, hey, where's this been for fucking 6 episodes or whatever? So that's kind of where I was at with that. So I picked it too. Do you have thoughts on why you picked it?
Undead dragon.
Dead dragon.
That's just kind of cool. Let me kill this dragon, take control of the dragon.
I mean, it's like the most major thing that happened in the entire season.
That's true. Yeah, it is
Isn't
true.
it? Like,
definitely.
It's like this whole season was building to the fact that the Night King would get a dragon that he can just mow down the wall with. That was like it. That was pretty much it. And like Dany would lose a few allies, I guess, or whatever. That's about it. Who won the season? We'll start with House. I fucking had no good answer for this.
Targaryen.
You picked Targaryen? Okay. All right. I picked Stark just like by default, I think, because I'm like, everyone's doing pretty all right still. So, well, I mean, it's true though. Like,
true.
Did the Starks have any major losses? I mean, like Arya's like Arya's
Snow.
uber the They got revenge on the Freys.
No, he's half Stark.
Sansa's having chill things up. They killed Littlefinger. Jon is still a Stark, so
Yeah, he's still a Stark.
So I feel like anything good happening on Jon's end still counts to the Starks. Bran's having a grand old time, just sitting in his little wheelchair. He's just having a grand old time,
He did get a cool knife and he gave it away. He gave out presents.
I got a little knife and then I give you a knife.
You can have it.
You can has knife.
Like how everybody asks question, why would he give you that? Fuck, I don't know. He had to give it to you for some reason.
This is a weird little fucker. That's why. You look so beautiful that night. Maybe don't go there, Bran. What do you think? What do you think about that, Bran? I picked Stark. You got Targaryen because of some parentage revelations and Dany and such.
She's not alone. She's taken Dragonstone. She burned up the Tarleys. Banging the nephew.
She's keeping it in the family.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
She's got an alliance. She's got an alliance with the king in the north.
The king in the north. That's
so
true.
now she's secured the north. She's secured the south. She's secured the east. But
she lost the dragon.
She did lose a dragon. It's true. Yep, she did. Individual. Who'd you get for individual?
I picked Cersei Lannister for individual. You know why?
Why?
Because she's somehow not dead, and she's managed to do absolutely nothing, yet still be in probably in arguably a better position of power than she was to start the season. So the Dornish are off the board, the Tyrells are off the board, the Greyjoys are basically off the board. She's got an ally in Euron. She has a fake truce with Dany, which she plans to just screw her over on and hope that she just dies north or whatever. And like Cersei's just sipping on wine this whole time, and like everything's just falling into place for her, even though one quick visit to the Red Keep and she'd be ashes. So
It's true.
So by virtue of doing nothing, Cersei's having a pretty good season.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to pick it.
So what do you got?
I just did Dany.
Yeah, just same reasons basically.
Same reasons.
Fair enough.
All right.
Season rankings. We've talked about it, and I almost feel like I need to change it now. I don't know. This is tough. I mean,
5's still fucking rough, dude.
that's that. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stick with what I have on the paper. Fuck it.
Five's pretty rough.
Let's begin from. We'll work backwards from our least favorite to our favorite. And mostly just slotting season 7 in somewhere towards the bottom at this point, if I had to guess. So our least favorite, number 7, that we put, not necessarily season 7, although it could be. I had season 5 as my least favorite still overall.
That's my least favorite overall, dude.
Okay. And then my number 6, I had season 7.
I had season 7 as well.
Slotted it right in. So I think everything else is going to fall into place with what we had previously, but we'll run through it regardless. Number 5, I had season 2.
Season 6.
And then for number 4, I had season 6.
Season 1.
Number 3, I had season 1.
Number 2.
And then I think we're in the reverse order on these last two. So my number 2 is season 3.
Season 4.
My number 1 is season 4.
Season 3.
Well, there you have it, folks. The definitive rankings until season 8 comes in.
And I know where
season
8's going. I
know exactly where it's going. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just wait. Just you wait. Oh, yeah. That's not going to be very difficult, is it? Any last-minute thoughts on Game of Thrones Season 7?
Season 7's pretty
Period.
fucking stupid. It's a pretty stupid episode. It's just a stupid season.
Yeah.
I did not want it.
It's not the worst, though. As we just established, it's not the worst. But it's close. It sure is close. But it's shorter. Maybe because it's shorter, it feels a little bit better. I don't know. Well, that's all I have to offer. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please spread the word. If you would like to follow us on social media, we are at WRRPod. You can like us on Facebook at Watch Review Repeat. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, Game of Thrones related, anything you want, send it to our Gmail account, watchreviewrepeat@gmail.com. If you do not support us on Patreon currently, and I would reckon there's a good amount of you, you may do so by heading to our website, watchreviewrepeat.com, clicking the premium tab in the top left, and then clicking the Become a Patron button. So how that works, $2 a month gets you early access to all of our regular episodes, which is currently kind of what you're looking at, and then it'll also get you access to any future bonus episodes we do on a timed exclusive basis. Typically, we kind of have a month of exclusivity, but with the way this Game of Thrones coverage has gone, we've kind of thrown that out the window. But we're gonna get back on track once we wrap up on season 8. We're gonna I don't know what we're doing for our next bonus episode. You'll have to stay tuned for that. We'll talk about it on the regular pod when we have a decision made on that front. But it'll be, I think, more episodic type things, not a big massive sprawling series like we just did. I think we're ready to get back to series of movies, something thematic that will tie together, that will be fun to do on and not so intensive. So that's where we're at with that. So if that's anything that appeals to you, patreon.com, that's where you'll be. Intro and outro track is Mechanolith by Kevin MacLeod, licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. As I just said, I don't know what our next technical bonus episode is, but of course, if you're listening to this, one would presume you've listened to at least one or several of our previous Game of Thrones episodes, and we're, of course, going to be finally wrapping up our coverage of Game of Thrones in the near future when we talk about Season 8. I know some of the thoughts have kind of filtered into this coverage. I'd imagine most people have had a chance to see the final season at this point. It's literally been close to a month, I think, since it stopped airing. So hopefully you guys didn't mind that creeping in too much. But it'll be nice to get our thoughts on the record. I can say that.
It'd be nice to be done.
It'll be nice to be done. It'll be nice to have both of those things accomplished. And I, as a precursor of what you might expect, it might sound a lot similar to this one. Just a warning.
Spoilers.
But look forward to our coverage of that. We are going to give it its full due, whatever it is due, I suppose. And that's it. We got other good episodes coming out in the future. So hopefully you'll come back for anything that catches your interest. Until then, that's it from Watch, Review, Repeat on this episode. Andrew,
Take care now. Bye-bye then.
laters on the Menjay.